But I think let's start with what's really dominated the headlines for several weeks now. Events post the Women's World Cup final. Jenni Hermoso has, to me, two big things involving that part. Jenni Hermoso has essentially filed proper charges against Rubiales. And then finally, there was an apology 16 days later from the Spanish FA. To help us make sense of what the Spanish charges mean, let's go to Sam Marsden, who, of course, is a lawyer and a member of the bar in Catalonia. No, just kidding. A member of a different bar, perhaps, in Catalonia.
Oh!
Sam, what does this actually mean, the charges that have been filed against Rubiales?
Yeah, so this is a sort of another phase of the action being taken against Rubiales. Obviously, until now, everything we've seen is sort of investigations and cases open against him in a sporting sense, if you will, to sort of remove him from his position with the federation. This is now veering into criminal proceedings. Prosecutors last week announced their intention to file a case against Rubiales. They asked Jenni Hermoso if she would press charges and join them on that case. Obviously, without Jenni Hermoso's complaint, it doesn't really move forward. She, this week, has officially filed that complaint, pressed charges against Rubiales for his conduct after the final, and that is moving forward now. So that's now up to the Audiencia Nacional, the national court in Spain, to decide if they take it on. If they take it on, there will probably be some sort of trial or whatnot, where both are summoned to speak, and then the decision is made from there whether any further action is taken against Rubiales in a criminal sense, as well as in sort of the sporting sense, like I say, in terms of his position with the federation.
So to be clear on this, this wasn't Jenni Hermoso saying, yes, I'm going to go and press charges. It was other people who were going to, if I understood this correctly, prosecutors were working on this, saying there is scope to press charges, but we need Hermoso as part of this for it to work. If they hadn't been working on this, she might never have pressed charges. Is that in the actual criminal courts rather than the sporting ones? That's fair to say, yeah?
Correct, yeah. So we don't know if she would have done or not. So she basically had three options. She could have gone down her own route of filing charges without the prosecutors and pressing charges that way. She could have joined the prosecutor's case, or she could have done nothing. And she's decided to take up the opportunity given to her by the prosecutors last week to press charges.
And I think the law has changed recently, Sam, in Spain, in the sense that now a forced case is considered or can be considered as sexual assault. For what you can go to jail between 1 and 4 years, you can get a fine, and maybe Rubiales will only get a fine. But this is a big step forward, massive.
The other big step, Sam, is the Spanish FA via Pedro Rocha, who I guess is the interim president right now, has issued an apology. They had a big statement to make. They also decided that they weren't going to continue with Jorge Vilda over this. Some people have some sympathy for Vilda in the sense that without this Rubiales business, Vilda might still be in a job, and there were suggestions.
Surely it wouldn't.
There were suggestions that he was offered a 4-year deal at a salary of, I think, $500,000, which is a lot for the women's game. What's your understanding here?
Yeah, I don't know if sympathy would be the word, but certainly without the Rubiales conduct after the final, then you would presume it would be sort of business as usual for the federation. Rubiales as president, Vilda carrying on as coach with the new deal boosted by winning the World Cup. But once everything fell out, obviously there's been various sort of discussions about why Vilda has gone, and obviously he has gone as part of the fallout to the Rubiales issue. But you can't ignore the fact that 81 players, past and present, said they wouldn't play for Spain. Obviously they've never named Vilda. It's complicated to talk about Vilda because in all the communications, the official communications that the 15 did last September, that the 81 did this past couple of weeks after the Rubiales non-resignation speech, hasn't specifically named anyone. They've spoken about the culture, about the hierarchy within women's football, especially within the federation. So there's nothing actually sort of pinned on Vilda officially, but he is part of that setup, and with him continuing in the helm, it would have been impossible for any of those players to return.
He said it was unfair. Oh, poor Jorge.
Oh, you obviously have no.
Why would I have sympathy for him?
No, what just strikes me a little bit is it seems like so many things get conflated. There's a Vilda issue, right?
Where there were issues before.
You had there's a Vilda issue which dates back to those 15 players, of which 3 returned and whatever else. Not all the 15 would have started in the final, obviously, or started for Spain. Other players supported Vilda all along. There's that whole thing, and when a complaint was never actually specific. So there's a Vilda issue there, and then there's a Rubiales issue, and the 80-odd people who came out, and including some Borja Iglesias and whatnot. I think this was about Rubiales, and it felt like Vilda should have been judged, to me at least, should have been judged entirely separately. It became impossible to do that, especially
He
impossible.
also stayed in charge because Rubiales was there before the World Cup. Otherwise, he would have never been the head coach anymore. So Rubiales kept him. So the two have been linked even before this all. So it's normal in a way that he benefited from Rubiales being there before. And now it's against him that Rubiales is gone.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.